Good morning! Little 12.5.6.3 FSD Drive. Let's make sure it goes through 2 roundabouts. Other than that, should be a quick little 60-minute drive. Got the Elon news of the day. Everybody's trying to get him to buy MSNBC. It might be up for sale. I think it's a giant troll or a joke. But who knows? Maybe he'll buy MSNBC. Well, they'll call it MXNBC. Oops. On or the FSD needs to is this middle lane medians are available, so please do take them, but FSD never does. It wants to go straight into the lane it's going into. It won't do that second two-step approach. Maybe version 13 will give it to us, maybe it won't, but as of right now what we really want is 3-point turning. Oh, okay, that was a rough one. It kind of ate the corner a little bit where the sidewalk begins, way more so than usual. Usually it just barely nicks it. You can barely feel it. But today we went over it. Watching an interesting podcast. They were talking about how long it takes to form a habit. More specifically, they were talking about the post-meal walk, which is actually really important. I do it pretty much every, at least after, I generally eat 2 times a day, but yeah, eating after a meal is a really important. 15-20 minutes really helps lowering your glucose. And not having a post-meal, you just drag. So, and it doesn't take much. It doesn't even have to be way up a hill. Just 15-20 minutes, maybe a little longer if you want. But after eating, just take a quick little stroll around the neighborhood or hit a treadmill or a spin bike, and it does wonders. And you have to force yourself, but this particular person was saying it takes about 21 days to form a habit. Some people say it takes 10. Some people say 6 months. Here's the truth. Nobody really knows. Doing something like this is really difficult. And it took about a month, and I've stuck to it. Truly, I walk 10,000 steps a day now. I've done it consistently since, January. So that was a New Year's resolution, if you will, and I've stuck to it. So we want to work, or I wanted to walk at least 10,000 steps a day, and I'm doing it. I'm averaging around 11,000 steps. My father and I, we go walk around my parents' neighborhood basically every day, or take a longer walk on the weekend, so we make up for the 7,000 we made up. But it's really important. I've lost a lot of weight. I am during the pandemic, put on those big pounds. The lockdown, and so 340, 350. Now I'm down to 250, 260. So much better field position. I'm trying to get down to 200. So there you go. And walking 10,000 steps a day definitely helps. So I'd like to be healthier. Being fat is not good. I don't care what people say. Oh, it's a state of mind, blah, 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 blah. Look, at the end of the day, you're unhealthy. So if you're fat, you're unhealthy. Doesn't matter. Yes, I get that there's some bullshit BMI or whatever. You don't need to be a freaking twig, but you don't also need to be morbidly obese. or obese. Being a healthy body weight, somewhere within probably realistically 10% of a recommended body weight is probably the goal. And so if your ideal body weight is like, for your height, probably 150, 160, then being no more than 175, 200 is a admirable goal. So that's where I want to be. I want to be around 200, maybe a little less. Take a lot of stress off the heart. Takes a lot of stress off a lot of body components. And yeah, so that's that. Eating healthy. You don't eat the terrible crap they shove down your throat. No more Fruit Loops, thank you, RFK. I didn't eat them to begin with. I don't need no food coloring in my diet. I just drink black coffee and real meat. FSD was running the ramp meter. It drove through the red, and it wasn't even timing it. I stayed around. It missed it by a good 5 seconds of misjudge. So yeah, FSD was running the ramp meter. I don't know if the camera could see up above. I stopped and looked ahead. Sometimes I'm misjudging it. It is actually starting to hit the gas slightly before it turns green because it knows the timing, but this was not the case. We definitely drove way past the line a good 5 seconds too early. But you know what? It is what it is. We're FSD supervised, and we're supervising it for a reason. It's not perfect. It is getting near perfect, or closer and closer every day to perfection, and that we can, or Elon can launch this as a robo-taxi service. I would say you're at least 6 months to a year away from that, but if you push really hard, you can probably get it a little bit sooner, especially in the Southwest or Southern states. This is it's not going to be easy to get supervised self-driving or unsupervised out in the Seattle market or northern states where it rains and snows a lot. How are you going to deal with snow, rain, adverse weather, how are we going to deal with this? We're not ready for prime time quite yet. It takes a lot more compute power, and as you flood the streets with robo-taxis, you're giving the consumer the ability to have a robo-taxi, and if it rains 100 days out of the year, you can't all of a sudden have an influx of Uber drivers all of a sudden. So then you have a devoid of standard of service, and it becomes a big mess. Okay, this is kind of an interesting bug. FSD really accelerates forward all of a sudden. I thought we'd smooth this out a little bit, but it's kind of coming back. Okay, that did better. It was just the last 2 or 3 times it was just... Wants to gun it into the tail of the other guy and hit the brakes. If it happens for more than a few minutes, it's just basically nauseating. right side of this exit as opposed to going on the left, then getting stuck up there. Talk about this many times. It's very frustrating when it does it, and then you have to get it over. So good job, FSD. Okay. That was kind of weird, but I think it thought the trash cans were attacking it.